Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Lions Talk Live, Wednesday edition. I want to, real quick before we get into anything, do want to give a thanks out to Ant-Man from UK, Lions Roar, for stopping by yesterday, giving us a little bit of their time. Very thankful for them to chipping in and helping out with stuff, giving their opinions, trying to do some different things with the show from time to time. I'm going to try to find some other guests. I know I've spoken to one of the beat writers at M Live, Matthew, and he's talking about he's got to get clearance from M Live before he can come on, but he's talking about coming on. I've also filed a couple reports with a couple of people in Detroit media, see if we can get brief segments with them. Just trying to do some things here during the off season to make things fun and entertaining for you guys. But you in the Duke group, if you have any thoughts, if you have any ideas, if you have some requests, don't be afraid to throw them in the comment section or shoot me a text or whatever. Let me know. But yes, to start the morning off with a big thunderous woo and get this show going. As you can see from the thumbnail, before you even got into the channel, I wanted to talk about something that probably honestly doesn't get talked about enough for the Detroit Lions renaissance that we're experiencing. That's Chris Spielman. As most of you know, he was a former Lion, all-pro player, thumbs up player, one of the true grit guys, I guess you could say, for the Lions in the 90s or late 80s. And I want to say, his effect, if you hear players talk or the coaching staff or the front office talk, his effect has been noticeable to them. If you hear Jared Goff talking about it on Pro Football Focus with his interviews, if you hear Dan Campbell talk about it, Aaron Glenn talk about it, Brad Holmes, this is a guy that remains and likes to remain behind the scenes for the most part. Doesn't really want to be in front of the camera. Doesn't really want to, talk to everybody about his impact on the team. But what he has done is he's just kind of reinforced all the different elements that they're already in place here. He was a key factor in why Sheila Fordham hired Dan Campbell. Also a huge factor in going after Brad Holmes. And from there, it just kind of all trickles down. You hear Jared Goff talk about what Chris Spielman did to help him when he first came over from the Rams, how he helped him refine himself, I guess you'd say, mature, evolve as a player. You've heard Amon-Ra St. Brown talk about him. Jameson Williams talk about him, Josh Pascal. I mean, you get the gist. His footprint or fingerprints have been felt throughout the franchise. So I thought today we would dive in and do a little bit more of a study on him, plus the jersey topics. I know they're going to come out, and I know there were some reports yesterday from various different sources thinking they had the leak, and they found out they got a little tripped up. I know I talked to, there's a group of us in Micro Mike's chat. We're talking about it. He thought he had the burning topic, and then I think after a little while he figured out that maybe it wasn't quite the topic he thought it was, and maybe got duped a little bit, I believe is the word he used. But it happens, man. If you're going to be in this business, you're going to be a reporter. Sometimes things are going to slip past you, and you got to move on from it. All right, real quick before we get into the meat of the show, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are, I think, 10 or 12 subs away from hitting 6,400. So if you can help out with that, that'd be great. Also, if you enjoy the content of the video, the Duke crew, the channel, all that kind of stuff, think about hitting the thumbs up button. You guys know it helps the channel and the video out a lot. It helps push it out to new people that have not found the channel or have not seen it yet. So if you can help out with that, that'd be great. And last but never least, just because I'm a working man and enjoy working for a living, if you're considering buying or selling property and you are in the great state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text. See the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me see what I can do on your behalf, try to save you some money, make the process easier. And again, it can be anywhere in the state of Michigan. If you're outside the state of Michigan, you want to give me a call or shoot me a text, that's fine too. I'll try to help you out and do all I can for you. All right, let's go ahead and get on over it. Lions Talk Live, the show is going. So I get some of you may not be aware of Chris Spielman's playing career. So real quick, let's just kind of identify that, talk about that. He played with the Detroit Lions from 1988 until 1995. At that point, the Lions had a choice with him and a number of players, to be fair. They had made a great, 6-7 year run. Were one of the better teams in the NFL, arguably. I guess you could say at least a top 10 team. And at one point, they were considered perhaps one of the best young and up and coming teams in the early '90s. I won't do a deep dive into everything that happened with the '90s teams, but we can say this: '95 team, it was a bit of a letdown for the franchise. The franchise had to make a choice on Chris Spielman and a number of players, and they ultimately let him go to the Buffalo Bills, where he played 2 more years before stepping down and retiring as a player. So he got 10 years in the league. At that point, he went into broadcast, et cetera, et cetera. Still stayed in the franchise, still, excuse me, in the NFL, still stayed relevant. But then when the Lions looked at another rebuild when they wanted to move on from the Bob Quinn Tricia, I guess you'd say, era from Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. They brought in Chris Spielman as somebody to be a reference, somebody to help guide the team. And you know what? I want your guys' thoughts on him. You've heard me talk about him. I'm sure most of you watching are aware of who he was as a player, let alone as a broadcaster. Some of the unfortunate details about him and his wife who passed, etc. But what do you think about Chris Spielman now, the front office executive, the person who has helped dive into this team and help figure out some of the errors of the past and bring this team to relevance to the point where now it is arguably the best team in the NFC and perhaps one of the top teams in the entire league. So let's see what you guys got to say. Let's head over to the comment section. And again, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about the jerseys, or maybe even draft talk, whatever it is, throw it in the comment section. Let's get at it. What do you got? Good morning, Dan and Duke Group. Good morning to you, bud. Hopefully having a great one. Mike the Marine, howdy, Dan and Lions faithful. Hope you're having a great day. You too, man. I hope you are having a great one. I know in about an hour from now, I'll get my morning Mountain Dew, head over to the gym, listen to some Lions information, and then get back here in case there's some breaking news or whatever. All right, so number 2 is the best I can do. Good morning, coach, and everyone else. All right, fair enough. We'll make Chris Bill number 2. All right, number 3. All right, fair enough. We're moving down the list quickly here. Oh, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Cruz, Superdome or bust! Exclamation point. Chris is a quintessential Lion. Power in the shadows. There you go, man. Yeah, he was a heck of a player. I think most of us know, and if you go back, if you haven't seen him play or when he was a player, go back and just YouTube search him, whatever. He was one heck of a middle linebacker, and you know what? He laid the wood on somebody. All right, Renata, what do you got? Good morning, dog. Good morning to you too. Moonscar, like many of us, I'm sure that I felt Chris Spielman should have been brought in 2 decades ago. He is just so knowledgeable on reading opposing defenses. Should have been a linebacker coach years ago. You know, there's probably a lot of truth to that. That Lions organization, obviously it's gone through a metamorphosis recently with the current regime. But prior to that, could you have brought in Chris Spielman? Could you have brought in Lomas Brown? Could you have brought in, I guess you'd say Rodney Pete? You can go through the list. There were probably a lot of those key guys from the '70s. You could have brought in Alex Harris. You could have brought in him, Bubba Smith. You could have brought in a lot of your prominent players and helped them try to reform the franchise. They didn't. They went other routes. He had some marginal success here and there, but to your point, Moonscar, yeah, bringing in somebody like Chris Spielman would have been real nice. But hey, better now than never, right? Thaddeus, what you got? Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you too. Robert G. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Good morning to you, Robert. Hopefully you're having a great one. Eduardo, first glance, I'm like, is that Ben Johnson? Question mark. Eduardo, that's how I wake up. Well, I hope you're waking up, man. Eduardo, let's flipping go, coach. 100%. I like the way you're thinking. Get this thing going. All right, Garland, what do you got? The Moonscar, I wonder how differently things may have been if Chris and Sheila came on board sooner. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you could have got them to come on, maybe, I don't know, let's just say like 2010, 2012-ish. Really, Stafford came in 2000, was it 8? I don't remember offhand, but right around there. If you could have got him or them in there, Chris and Sheila, with Calvin in the young years, who the team had some real potential. I don't think I'm giving any spoiler alerts here, but that team had real potential. The problem is after that, I want to say the 2014 team, they started fanning out. They let the wrong guys go. They made some less than ideal draft picks. But I will say this: as bad as all that was, would we be where we are now if we didn't go through that? I guess that's the great debate. So, the butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it. All right, Mutzgar, got to hear Eduardo's voice yesterday on a caller to the another show. We frequent each other. Hey, that's nice, man. Uh, I know I thought about trying to add that. I'm just not sure if I'm ready to be able to add and block callers or whatever if they say the wrong stuff and have that kind of couple second delay. So it probably would not be a bad idea to add that stuff to the show. It's just whether or not, man, I'm a one do crew, so see what I can take on and what I can figure out. Right now, I'm still trying to struggle with the video stuff. Try to incorporate that just so we can have more interactive analyses and breakdowns of plays and stuff like that. So I'll put it on the list, Moonscar. All right, Robert G. There is no doubt about it! Exclamation points. Chris is on top of things. He is, man. He's done a great job with stuff. He's been a quieting, calm impact on the team. Yeah, he is the Art Howe of this team. All right, Hookadoo. Good morning, Dan and the Duke crew. Go Lions, 100%. Good morning to you, Hookadoo. Hopefully, having an outstanding one. Moonsguard, definitely different defensively. Garland, there you go. Sorry, man, you got me on that one. All right, Wardo, the New Jerseys come out tonight. I see what the autocorrect did there to you. If they give us all black, my credit card is ready for a Ragnall Davis, Iffy, or Laporta jersey. There you go. I'm a Laporta supporter. There you go. And he should be, man, because he keeps evolving and getting better. It's crazy to think it's possible he could have a better season than he did his rookie year. But man, that's going to be so tough just to match what he did last year. But you know what? Hopefully he can do it. Bo, what do you got? Does Ed O'Neill ring any bells, Eduardo? Ever get called El Bundy asking for a friend? There you go. I'm assuming you're saying, Bo, that Eduardo sounds like El Bundy. Well, hopefully he can be one of the backup quarterbacks if we need him. All right, Dean, I saw a few channels got duped on the uniforms yesterday. Laugh out loud. Thought some store leaked the uniforms. Turned out those were from a few seasons prior. Yeah, and again, and it happens sometimes as a reporter, whatever. You think you're getting solid intel, run with it. It happens. I mean, I know it's happened to me. It'll probably happen to anybody who's any kind of reporter at some level. I don't know the store that was the big reach or whatever source of it. I want to say it was Dick's Sporting Good. What I understood, Kurt Steele and Micro Mike and, and the crew all said that they had some stuff out. They were promoting it as, "Hey, we got the leaked information. You can order now." I think that was the gist of what they told me. Uh, and then I think it was Kurt Steele pointed out, "Hey, something's wrong here because there's a TJ Hawkinson jersey listed here." And obviously, the team would not be putting out a Hawkinson jersey for promotional reasons for their brand new jersey. So it happens, hey, and I guess we'll have to wait until tonight to find out what the real jerseys are. Eduardo, look in Brad, we trust, but like we can't go another draft where the majority of the picks are on offense. You know, that's a good question, Eduardo. I mean, maybe it's just Brad Holmes' mantra that offense wins in this league now. All the rules are so skewed towards the offense. We want to make it as big a challenge for you to have to defend us as possible. And I know somebody had it in the comment section yesterday that, at least I'm pretty sure it was in the comment section yesterday, that if you're going to invest all this money in a new contract to Jared Goff, you want to make sure that he is as ready to go, high probability for success as possible. So you got the rules favoring the offense. You've got you want to make sure your investment is protected, and then I do believe, and I don't have any corroborating evidence for this, but I do believe Brad Holmes says, you know what, defensive backs, we know they take a little time to grow. We're going to develop guys in the middle rounds with the idea of developing them. I do think premium on the defensive line. Like I could totally see him taking defensive line in the first round, second round, third round. The linebackers, I think Jack Campbell's a little bit of an outlier. I think Brad Holmes prefers getting somebody again in the middle rounds, late rounds as far as linebacker. So overall, I'm going to say if you're not a defensive lineman, the chances are, at least with Brad Holmes, he's probably taking you in the middle or later rounds to come on in. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. It just seems to be his norm. Doesn't mean there can't be variance to a norm, but it does seem to be where he tends to go. All right, Eduardo, I don't care what anybody says. You can have the best weapons in the NFL. It doesn't matter if your defense can't stop a nosebleed. This is true. Yeah, yeah, we all know, man. Last year, we'll probably make it into the Super Bowl if there are a couple of catch passes, if we don't have the fumble. But the other part is in that second half, if the defense had a little bit more firepower to put some stops on the 49ers. That also being said, you made it to the NFC title game and arguably were within a few plays here and there that could have been made by the defense with the type of defense you had, which I think most of us agree was not the greatest defense in the world by any stretch of imagination, let alone the secondary is on last year's team was not outstanding by any stretch. All right, Clark Gerswald, greetings and salutations, dude. Crew, good to see you. It's been a bit, and hope you have a great morning too, man. Burger time. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Bergs. Thank you for all you do for the channel, my friend. All right, Moonstar. One time for Woo Bird. There you go. Don Bird is not happy. He's leading the brigade for the band The Woo. You know that might actually be a pretty cool T-shirt. All right, Surfer, what do you got? But at least I hit the first like. That's an achievement. There you go. Thank you for that. You know, it helps the channel out a lot. So anybody who can, if you're watching, if you can hit the like button, that helps that out a ton. So if you got a free second, pretty please consider doing so. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I'm getting excited for this year's draft. Anyone else going? I know I'm not going to be able to go this year. Unfortunately, just too much work and stuff like that. Plus, the time of the day, the drive, yada yada. But if you guys want to organize something, go ahead and put it in the comments section. See what you guys can do. Maybe those of you who are going independent want to hang on out. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, Bo, or what do you got? Woo bird. There we go. Yes, Don has unleashed the woo bird. All right, Adri, make the woo great again! Exclamation points. Hello. Sorry, Don. All right, Don is shaking in his boots. I'm sure, man. Eduardo, can we get some final jersey predictions? Sure. Let's see what you guys have today. Or you know what? I'll start it off. I'm anticipating, in my opinion, probably are going to be predominantly black, some blue highlights and silver highlights. Like across the arms and stuff like that. Maybe around the V around the neck and stuff like that. But I'm guessing the away ones will be that color scheme. The home jerseys, I'm gonna say probably almost all white, gray with black and blue highlights here and there. So again, around the necks and stuff like that. That's a complete guess on my part. I have no idea. Like you guys know, if you've been watching the show for a minute, I've been focused on other things, not the jerseys so much. But I do get it's a point of excitement. And a lot of people, if those things hit, and I'm sure the Lions are aware of it. You're going to see a lot of sales and orders for those coming out in the next week or so. All right, Moonscar, Lions laughing. All right, fair enough. Robert, greetings and salutations all back at you. Hopefully, you're having a great one. Eduardo, Lions by 1,000,000. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Eduardo, never forget the Lions. That's correct. A lion never forgets, or maybe it's an elephant. Hooker Time, good morning. Good morning, Hooker Time. Hopefully, you're having an outstanding one. And thank you for being a part of the show as always, my friend. All right, Robert G. They will have numbers on the edge. Eddie, in your opinion, exclamation point. That's the best guess I have. All right, I'll go with that. Numbers on the yes, they will have numbers on the jerseys. I'll go with that, and hopefully they're form fitting. All right, Trey, what do you got? What's good? All question mark. Man, the woo ain't going nowhere. No, it's probably not, man. Not at this point. Eduardo, I'll say black with dark gray dominant away uniforms, white with light gray and black highlights and some. Yeah, we're kind of on the same page with that. So I'll go with that, man. All right, Bo, solid blue and silver, no stripes. Nittany Lions. That all right, I can call that. Trey called a guess. Wink. Fair enough. All right. I'll go with that guess. All right, Robert, can we get a woo and the tree of destiny out for the draft? Jason's going to have to hop on and bust out the tree of destiny. I thought about doing my prediction video the day of the draft with the towel of destiny and maybe I don't know, the stick of fate or something like that. But we'll have to see. We'll have to play that up and have a little fun with it. Overtime. The Lions to reveal new jerseys tonight. It is jerseys only or helmets too. I believe it's jerseys only, but don't hold me to that. I don't know. Eduardo, if the blacks come back, I want to be able to wear them on the road, please. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You can get that. Moonscar. Helmet is a sparkly silver with a solid blue lion. All right. Dennis, good morning. Dan and fam, good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully, you're having a great one. France, good evening, everyone. Let's go to Dan and the new crew. All right, let's go. And hopefully, you're having a great evening, wrapping up your day over there, France. All right, Eduardo, the Lions trade up. The town will go crazy for the few minutes while they wait for the pick. You're not wrong there. Yeah, I think everybody gets there's going to be a strong contingent of fans there at the draft. They're all going to be rooting and supporting. They're all going to be behind it. They're all going to be in rare form, I guess would be a good way to put it. So if the Lions make some bold move, trade up, trade for a player, whatever it's going to be, yeah, that fan base for probably about 10 to 15 minutes straight, they're going to be off the charts. And, it'll make for some great visuals on the TV. All right, Hookadoo. All I have to say is they better still be Honolulu Blue. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to keep the principles of the organization franchise ingrained in the uniform. 100%. All right, Eduardo, does anybody have a quote walk out of the room pick for the Lions in the first? Now, I guess I would say if it's like if you're not happy about the pick, if I'm assuming that's where you're going with that, Eduardo, about walk out of the room. I mean, really, the only position I can think of would be like quarterback or maybe running back at this point with the running back room they have. I just can't really think of anything else that where you're like, wow, we really don't need this. So yeah, I guess those would be my two picks. But if you guys have some more ones, let me know. All right, Lance. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust, man. A lot of exclamation points, and man, I think Donkey Kong is probably less than happy you're stealing his thunder on that one. It happened though. Ryan, great show yesterday, but still believe Johnson and Goff to Dallas. All right, Holmes just doesn't want to pay. Bad image for Detroit. Hey, could it happen 100%? Could it be that Dallas, extended Mike McCarthy thinking that hey, Ben Johnson or somebody like him would be an ideal fit there? That is possible. Could Ben Johnson leave and then Jared Goff say, "Hey, my success is directly tied to him"? It's possible. Anything's possible. Could the Lions say, "Hey, Hendon Hooker's the future," or if they draft a guy this year and they say that, yeah, I would just say this in my opinion. That's all it is, in my opinion. As a general manager or coach, or I guess you could say a reporter, you don't want to rule out scenarios because then you have a bias when it comes to analyzing them. So for me, I try to leave every situation on the table and make the best assumption for that particular team. If they feel after this upcoming season that maybe Goff isn't the best option going forward, then you have to trust they know what they're doing. If they say, "Hey, we need to sign Goff to a 10 year deal at $10 trillion," then you have to believe that's the best for him. I have no idea what's going to happen with Ben Johnson. I honestly thought he was going to leave after last season, but give him some credit. Now, there could be a multitude of reasons why Ben Johnson has remained. Maybe it's loyalty to the franchise. Maybe it's he doesn't feel he's ready. Maybe he didn't get the offer he wanted. We're all speculating. What I can say is enjoy this show while it's here, and this show being not Lions Talk Live, but Detroit Lions as we currently know them. Because at some point it's going to happen where you're going to lose some players, you're going to lose some coaches. I mean, King Fraley, I am dang surprised we have not heard his name come up more in conversations for jobs. But at some point, it's inevitable. They're all going to move on at some point. They're all going to go. So embrace the now, figure the rest out in the future as it comes around. You hope you're wrong. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, everything is possible. Let's see what happens in the future. Robert, not now. Ooh, well, let's hope not, man. But hopefully Ben Johnson stays with the team. But again, most people when they're assistant coaches, their goal is to become a head coach. So at some point, you got to do it if you're going to do it because you run out of time quick. Hey, man. Good morning, Dan and crew. Chris has always been the man. He has been. Chris Spielman. He's brought the heat. He's brought the thunder, and he's brought just a calm, comforting presence throughout the organization. It's just funny hearing how many people in various different parts of the organization have talked to him, have been reassured by him, or gotten thoughts of wisdom from him. So his reach is all over the franchise, and that's from MCDC, Brad Holmes, to the players, to a lot of the medical staff. You listen, you hear every aspect talk about him and talk about his kindness, his character, his information and wisdom. So that's why I wanted to go with that topic today. Plus again, trying to get you guys something to talk about that isn't just draft related because I do get it's you look around all the channels and for the most part it's overwhelming. You can't get away from draft talk. All right, Hooker time. Hey, coach. When I watch your episode later in the day, commercials pop up. I hope that means you're getting paid. Great job growing this page. Yeah. So one thing I learned I want to say it was Micro Mike. Maybe, I mean, who knows? It was somebody about a year ago when I really got the channel going. They told me when you do a live show, you don't get paid, and that's why I think most of the channels really only do one or two live shows a week because you're donating your time. Because unless there's the ads, you make nothing from these. And I know some in the YouTube community have said, "Why do you do lives all the time? You don't make any money." Just because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this with you guys. It's a part of my morning routine. Now, once the once the live's done, you make some sure. But as I've also been pointed out, you make about half. Like if I just recorded this video and then put it up on YouTube, I would make twice as much if I did it that way versus doing the live and then letting it become a show. But I make enough money to cover my morning hot dog typically and Mountain Dew, so I call it a win. I put in the hours work to get out doing a hot dog. That's the way I look at it. So I enjoy it, man. But thanks for that, Hooker time. Bo, what do you got? Sheila as the final say in how much to pay staff, not the legal bread. Yeah, Sheila's gonna, if when the conversation happens with Goff and whenever that's gonna happen in the new contract, she's gonna have the final, okay on things because Brad Holmes gonna negotiate it. Their cap management team is gonna play it out, how it's gonna figure out with the future, and then Sheila's got to write it off because I'm guessing he's got clearance probably on every player's contract, but I'm sure a few of them, when they get up to certain dollar values, which I'm anticipating his will, probably she's asked to give some input, like you okay with this? But I'm going to guess Brad Holmes has full autonomy. He can probably go forward and sign anybody without question. But it doesn't mean he doesn't get the final okay just to make sure. All right, Brent. Good morning, Dan and Duke crew. Agreed, Eduardo. If the Lions trade up, the roof will come off the city! Exclamation point. Hope it happens! Exclamation point. You guys know my thoughts. I think we're going to trade up. I do. It makes sense to me. Not just because it's in Detroit, but because really, you look at the team, how it's structured, and you give credit to everybody in the organization, not just one or two people. But we're deep. We don't have any real holes. We're solid everywhere. Maybe not exceptional everywhere, but we're very solid everywhere. So I guess it just comes down to one or two questions. Do you believe you need to draft just so you consistently have sound groups of players or amount of players coming across the board? Or are you at Holmes and say, we don't want to do that at this point? We want another impact player or two. I believe you're going to trade up somewhere into, let's say, the low 20s, maybe teens, to get somebody you feel this person is going to come in at that position and make an impact right away. Now, I do believe you're also going to do it in the second round or their round, maybe second or third round, to acquire a second player who's probably going to come in same scenario, making an impact right away. Um, could it be possible they're going to draft all seven players or trade back and just get a couple people here and there and round out the team, coming in with tons of rookies every year? Yes, that is possible. I just think as far as this year and next year, I'm not going to worry about projecting beyond two seasons out. It's just too tough in the NFL. But I believe this is the year you make your bold moves, I guess. All right, Kurt. Great and salutations, Zucru. Sometimes all about Chris Spielman being with the team. You just don't care about him much. No, you don't. And I think he prefers it that way. Robert, blockbuster trade! Exclamation points. That's my prediction! Exclamation points. I'll go with that, man. And hey, we get into like pick 24 or 27, all of a sudden trade happens. Who knows who they trade for? Maybe it's LaShawn Lattimore, maybe it's Patrick Surtain Jr., or maybe it's Timbuktu. I don't know. But if it's some big name player, or that most of us consider a big, yeah, you'll see that place erupt, even though there might not be a first round draft selection for the Detroit Lions. All right, Bo, trading up and trading for Surtain. How would that go over? I think it would. I think the fans would be pretty happy because even though it wouldn't be a draft, if it happens during the draft, you're going to see those cameras on those faces. It's almost like getting a drafted player. And man, that secondary, you guys, we've all talked about it for a month or so now. You add him to this team, that secondary is super legit, and I can't wait to see Blitzburg, the Silver Rush, the Motor City Maulers, whatever you want to call it, go after the other team's quarterback and running backs. All right, Rocky, good morning, all. Chris likes hide behind the scenes, but I think he was a main reason for the turnaround. I would agree with you. Yeah, I don't think he wants to be in front of the camera. He doesn't want to answer 20 questions. He just wants to do his part to help out. And you know what? Go from there. And I think he's doing a pretty impressive job with things. All right, Steve Rogers. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Cap. Good to see you on the channel. Robert G. That would be electric at Bo Booth, 100%. Gary, before my dad passed away, he always said one day Spielman would be either a coach or a general manager. Yeah, and he was right. Man. He has that mentality, Chris Spielman. I can see him doing both. All right, Gary, excited for the new unis. Always thought the old unis were like the old Lions. Blah. Yeah, maybe that's the thought behind them. We are having a franchise in a renaissance to change. Why not make it look different on the field too? All right, Bo, what do you got? Chris is like the head engineer of Sunko Works, builders, let's see, SR71s. Okay, sorry to clear my throat. All right, Jedi music. I hope everyone is having a great morning! Exclamation point! Make it a day, people! Exclamation point! Same to you. Thanks for being a part of everything and being a part of the. Great, greetings, salutations, everyone. We're going to the North and the NFC this year. I believe that. Well, you win both of those. You're in the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl. That's my question for you, Gary. I know the linebacker draft was all Spielman. He plays a lot of Spielman. He plays a lot like Spielman, only quicker. And, he's a massive human being. And I'm assuming you're talking about Jack Campbell. Yeah, he's a massive human being. When he starts getting more and more comfortable, reads things more instinctively, where he doesn't have to think about it, yeah, that guy might just become something out there. Rocky, good morning. Brent, making my first visit to the VA clinic. Any advice? I'll let you guys handle that. Bo, patience, right? Lots of patience. Yeah, I know when my dad would go and some of my other family members, they would have to spend some time there. Just a lot of needing help. You got to wait until your turn. Gary, so anyone have a clue on what Holmes is going to do? Man, that's $1 million question. We're all sitting around speculating. I don't think they really have a sound idea what's going to happen. But you know what? You get enough speculation, somebody's going to be right. So go with that. Hookadoo. Great plan, Bo. My dad was a pilot in the Air Force. Fair enough. Yeah, my dad was a tank commander in Korea. So, yeah, true story. Apparently, some shrapnel got in, bounced around in the tank, and hit him in a place. If you're a guy, you don't want to be hit. Yeah. So he had all those kids off one Gahone. We'll put it that way. All right, Brett, listen to Bo Rocky. VA is like they're on the Philippine side. Patience. Yes, I'll go with that. Phil, raise the salutations. Back at you, Phil. Hopefully, on a great one. Brett, I'm still hoping we make that trade for Stain. Me too, man. Me too. I would be way okay with it. Of course, depending on what you have to give up for it. Moonstar, there is an SR71 at the Kalamazoo Air Zoo. You can go and check it out. There is one. I know my kiddo takes some classes there when she's in town, and yeah, it's a great place to visit. If you ever have an opportunity to go visit the Air Zoo, it's actually pretty impressive that they have something like that here in Kalamazoo. It's very well done there. All right, let's see, Dennis, let's go. All right, we'll have a Duke Crew trip to the Air Zoo. Fair enough. All right, woo! There you go, Dennis. Robert G. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, it would be, Brent. Yes, Brent. Yes, it would be awesome to make that happen. All right, Phil. The hair of greatness is shorter today. Yes, I got all my hairs cut, and you know what? It was about time. It's been about a month, and it was starting to get a little poofy. It was starting to look like a Bob Ross chia pet. All right, Brent. That would have to give. What would we have to give up for Certain? Now that it matters to me! Exclamation point. My guess is probably a first and second, and maybe a little bit more. I could be wrong. I just don't see two first happening. Then again, if they really want to unload them and there isn't a bidding war, could it be possible maybe 2 seconds? I could see that, and I would not hesitate if it was me to make that happen. All right, Trump's. Woo! Woo! 100%. And good morning to you. Robert, the hair looks great. Thank you for that. It's what I call bedhead. I woke up and threw the water on. I got ready for the show. All right. Let's see. Southwest Lion. Hey, good morning, man. Good morning, all. Dan, I like the Detroit Lions logo in the background. Yeah, that is a old school one I put up there some time ago. Man, I do know the tail got cut off. So sorry about that, guys. But I'll fix it at some point. Well, outstanding haircut, coach. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. All right, Robert G. Hey, Dapper Dan with the new do. Great. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's two guard around the sides and the back. She trims it up on top, and it takes like 5 minutes. It's not very complicated. All right, Dennis. Is Tracy Walker coming back? I doubt it, but I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I don't think it's nothing against the guy. I know we talked about it last season, just limited in coverage abilities. And I think this regime, especially with as much as they want to blitz and get after quarterbacks or the opposing team, you need guys in the back end who can cover. And Tracy Walker, you can't put him on a receiver. I don't think you put him on the vast majority of NFL tight ends. So really, who's he going to cover then? It'd be running back only, and I think that's ultimately led to his demise. He would be a great, I feel, weak side linebacker if you could bulk him up about 15, 20 pounds. But that's a lot of ask on somebody at this point in their career. Michael, good morning. Dan, good morning to you too. Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust. Woo! A lot of exclamation points. Good morning to you, Matthew. Yes, Don Burr is cussing me out right now. I remember she was saying that Chris Spielman was probably her best hire. How many people in the scouting department will we lose next year? I know we lost two this year. My anticipation is if we knock the ball off, ball out of the park this year again in the draft, you're probably going to see more people leave. It's just part of it. I've been working on that scouting video. I'll get it out to you guys next week. We'll probably just do a live one for it, unless I can really figure out some more stuff with the video. But it's part of any job, right? You get hired somewhere. If you get a pay grade advancement, if you get a positional advancement, you're probably taking it. It just at some point you need to push your career one way or the other. Some people are okay with just staying pat, but sort of like coaches want to advance, so do scouts. Scouts want to move up the board. They want to get into the front offices. They want to elevate their careers. Matthew, great do, coach. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Rocky, thanks, Bo and Brent, 100%. Man Bear, greetings, salutations, friends. Greetings to you too, Man Bear. Dennis, hit that like button. Yes, if you could ever be so kind, hit that thumbs up button. Helps out done. Same with the subscription button, if you would. Bo, good luck, Rocky. There you go. Yeah, hopefully you have a good time there, man, and bring something to do while you're there. Phil, audio is pretty bad today. I'm sorry about that, man. I don't. Is it bad for everybody? Well, I guess you guys will let me know. Renault, what do you got? Good morning. How about going after Michael Parsons, Dallas Cowboy, the 29th pick and the 73rd pick and a second round 2025 pick? I know some people have talked about potentially the Lions making a trade for him. I just really struggle to think that the Dallas Cowboys would give him up. I mean, he has been so generational for their defense, but everybody's got a price. Gary, good morning, coach. Your football addicts, you football addicts, Super Bowl, baby, bring it, 100%. I like the way you're thinking. Southwest, I do understand these players needing to get paid for their financial future and the financial futures of their families. But if winning the Super Bowl matters, how much is enough? That I can't answer. So let me just go to the bottom of the comment section. Guys, let me know, is the audio still choppy? I'm just going to the bottom of the comment section to see if it still is. I'm not sure what I can do about it, but probably not much I can do about it while on air. Oh, we'll just have to make it work today. Sorry, guys, for any of the issues and problems if it's still acting up. Unfortunately, while on air and alone, it's little I can do about it. Gary, only and 4.5 or above pickleball players here. 45 and above pickleball players. I know Jen and I are going to start doing it this summer. I've got some friends that do pickleball. They also enjoy it. Don Kong, Super Bowl or plus 100%. St. Brown is skipping voluntary workouts is a disappointment. Is what it is, man. Maybe it's in regards to the contract. I know people have talked about it. It's part of the business. Robert G. Hey, hey, Donkey Kong, 100%. Donkey Kong, sup, Robert? Happy Thursday, Lions fans. Same to you, Donkey. Yeah, man, I agree, Phil. Okay, Michael. So important for our D. Keep the opposition quarterback within 85 range. All right, fair enough. Brent, yeah, Phil, I was surprised to hear that St. Brown wasn't showing up. It's unfortunate, but hopefully he will eventually. Don Kong, just sit back and let Brad Holmes work his magic. 100% with that. Dennis, all right, stun face. Fair enough. Al, greetings from Las Vegas. Yeah, I know it's early here. I had to pee. See you all next week at the draft. 100% Al. Hopefully, you have a good morning and can't wait to see you at the draft. Extreme Chef Spielman is more for the reason for the changes in the lines than people think. There could be a whole lot of truth. That whole lot of truth. Miles Market, good morning. Coming in late. Who do you all on? Who you all on about besides Spielman? We're just talking about all things, man. So you know how the crew works in the morning show. So go with it. Trump's strippers and beer, fair enough. A winning combination. Bo, Sheila is a different owner. Lions of the past world not bringing in Chris. Yeah, yeah. And hey, Chris has helped with this franchise's renaissance and revitalization as much as perhaps anybody else, but he just isn't talked about a ton. Southwest line. I'm not surprised that St. Brown is skipping voluntary workouts. How much does he want to stay in Detroit? Question mark. To maintain the core, some financial sacrifice needs to be made. And that could be part of it. Could he be standing out because he's trying to protect his body going into a contract year, letting it heal up more? Maybe he's making a statement about how he needs to get paid in the new contract. I mean, all those things are possible. All right, JP, great salutations, Coach Chris Spielman played a major role in changing the Lions culture when Sheila took over. I would agree with that, 1 billion%. Broski, Trump's a genius sounds like my kind of Friday night. Yes, it probably does. All right, Dennis, sign Brown already. I'm surprised we haven't publicly heard some contract chatter come out more and more, but I've also said I do think they're going to handle him in golf probably more once we get past the draft. Andrew, good morning, Dr. Do. You're planning on making it to some games this year? Yeah, I usually get out to a couple games every year. I know we'll set up a Duke tailgate probably early in the season at one of the first Fort Field home games. I'll let you guys know when that happens. All right, Southwest Lion Chris Fiona is like Peter in the Bible. He is a rock upon which the Lion's success has been built. I'll go with that. Yeah. Robert G, no worries at Southwest. Not one of the top wide receivers in the league has been extended yet. Yep. So you got a good point there, especially with Justin Jefferson, Amon St. Brown. I mean, there's other guys for sure, but yeah, they haven't jumped on him yet. Hatman, Chris has always been a quiet, humble guy until he hits the field, and then he's a beast. So to your point, Hatman, yeah, he's one of the few people that they can flip the switch. One person off the field, a completely different person on the field. All right, Bo, I'm having an oral surgery the day before the draft. Definitely not going to Detroit. Gonna be all drugged up and laid back watching on TV. Yeah, and we don't sleep through the draft. All right, Eduardo, I'm excited after today. I'm excited after today. I will be off for quite some time. Well, hopefully you enjoy it. Good luck at Bo. 100%. Yeah, enjoy the surgery as best you can. Matthew Spielman was one of my favorite players. He had the fire and the grit. I always wondered why they didn't bring him back into the organization to coach. But his life is something for a book. Yeah, and he's like I said at the start of the show. He's gone in a lot of different ways. He had to deal with some personal tragedy, unfortunately. So hey, I'm just glad he's back with the organization, back to his Lions family, and hopefully getting him through it. All right, Gary, glad you had the Ant Man on the show. The man knows it. Yes, he knows his stuff. Him and Kurt Steele. I was very hopped on. All right, Waddle, favorite Lions from each decade you've been a fan? For me, Levi and Laporta. Oh boy. So Bubba Baker, uh, I guess Billy Sims, Barry Sanders. uh, Mike Kofer, Robert Porcher, Johnny Morton probably get thrown in there. Eric Kramer, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in Lions history. Boy, after that, Mike Mike McMahon probably. I thought they really should have stuck with him versus Joey Harrington. I thought he had a real future, and apparently so did, I didn't realize at the time, but so did Steve Mariucci. He was really not happy that they drafted Joey Harrington because he wanted to build around Mike McMahon. And Mike McMahon, that kid had a rocket for an arm, and he could scramble. Yeah, he was pretty good. Um, boy, DeAndre Levy was not bad. Stu, Calvin, Stafford. I mean, you get quite a few. All right. We got Anthony Kurt. Yeah, good couple of people. Real nice. Humble guys. Great opinions. If you guys get an opportunity, go check out their channels or their work. I think as Lions fans, you'd be pretty happy with. All right, Matthew. Good morning! Exclamation point. We are getting close. 1 week away! Exclamation point. The party's getting started. Yeah, I'm guessing you'll start seeing a lot of people out there partying and getting ready for the draft probably Wednesday night. Donkey Kong, hit the like button. Yes, pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. Hit that like button. Mile marker. Yes, was good to see Anthony from yeah, Roar UK. Yeah, he's man, he's on Micro Mike. He's on here. He's on his own stuff. He's probably on other shows. Guy's got a schedule, man. He's in demand. All right, Southwest line, you have to go with best player available, and the Lions have enough talent where you can do that. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Eduardo Dan is a funny guy. Thank you for that. All right, Robert G. Thank God for the drugs they give you there at Bo. Unfortunately, I have dentures. Fair enough. Eduardo, best player available has been the move since the beginning. Yeah, they've gone with that 100%. Brad already said they don't go into drafts with depth charts. Just going with a list of guys he likes, 100%. And I like that philosophy that you're not drafting in the need. You're just putting the best dudes on the team, going from there. Then, Bruce, what do you got? I love Chris Spielman! Exclamation point! It's a huge reason the Lions are becoming more and more successful. I think you're pretty spot on with that, man. 100%. He doesn't get talked about enough, which is obviously why we have the thumbnail and the topic today. All right, Robert. Otherwise, I'd have felt that pain. 100%. Miles Mark, I'm impressed how Goff keeps his cool and charm when he's being interviewed. ESP by his former naysayers. Yeah, especially by his former naysayers. I get it, man. He's probably aware, I'm guessing, especially with those playoff wins last year, that the naysayers, they just have a whole lot less ammunition. The only thing you could really still say about him is, hey, Stafford went on and won a Super Bowl. Okay, great. Stafford never won a playoff game. Although I guess inadvertently he led the Lions to a playoff win last year. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if your margin for success is you have to win a championship or you're a bust, I'd say there's a more bust than anything else. But Goff has led two teams to the NFC Championship. He's won playoff games everywhere he's been. And he might not be the flashiest guy, but he gets it done. All right, Jason, I've got an old 54 jersey I used to wear in high school. It hangs in the rafters during game day. He bleeds blue, super dome or bust. I agree with you on that, Jason. And good morning to you. Southwest Lane, you have a lot of guys who are outperforming their contracts, especially Jared Goff. That's what you continue to need going forward. Yeah, people got to play, and they understand if they play, they'll get paid. The problem for this organization is, can you pay them all? Unfortunately, that's probably going to be a no. And Broski and Jason, nice to see you own a Urlacher jersey. Fair enough. San Francisco has all pros everywhere and are managing to pay them all. We should be fine. If you're creative, they should be able to get the vast majority of them paid, but some are going to inevitably at some point slip away. Should be. Yes, I got you. Matthew, now I'm glad they didn't bring him back either. Sheila's need for him to be the organization now is something you can't put a price on. He has to become the ultimate front office consultant. Everyone loves him. Yeah, I don't think you hear anybody talk poorly about Chris Spielman. Frank the Tank is a offensive league. Even some of the best defenses in the NFL are going to struggle. Woo! 100% go Lions. Yeah, it's how the rules are. It's what the league wants to. They don't want to go back to the days of 10-7 games just because they understand fans need the movement on the field. They need the scores. They want offensive games. So it's part of it. Oren, what do you got? Good morning, Dan! Exclamation point. What do you think has been the biggest smokescreen so far with the Lions draft? My opinion, and that's all it is, could be proven wrong, is how many people they brought in from the secondary to interview. I I just don't think the Lions are going to draft somebody uh, at 29 for the quarterback position. Could be totally wrong. I personally think they're moving up, and now that's my belief, but I don't know. But if you ask me what I think, they brought in whatever it is, 7 different people from the secondary. Could it be that they're trying to get teams to think they're going after somebody in the first round before the secondary, when in actuality, they're trying to use that to their advantage for potential trade for someone in the secondary, saying, "Hey, the asking price doesn't come down on this person. We're just going to draft this person." There's also the possibility that they're saying, "Hey, we want to have a lot of good information in case 1 or 2 of these guys fall in the second or third round." That is also possible. Bruno, good morning. Chris Spielman was great in his year. How about going after? Let's see, going after Michael Carson, give him 29.71. You give him a second round pick. It's possible. It is possible for sure. Are they going to do that? I don't know. I mean, he'd be a heck of an impact player. I just don't think I don't see Brad Holmes doing that, but I have been wrong before. All right, Eduardo, Brad has drafted 3 positions in every draft: defensive tackle, linebacker, wide receiver. Does that trend continue? My answer is it will continue. Andrew, what do you got? Went to the Lions Panthers game last year. Saying the Hutch one interception was unreal, and that hit he took on that play was ridiculous. I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah, I'm just glad when I first saw that hit live. I was like, "Ooh, there's a high probability he got injured." Thankfully, he did not. We're 1 week away from the draft. Let's flip and go. Sign me up, coach. We'll put you in. You're ready to play. Ed, good morning, coach and Duke. What's up, chat? Yeah, hey, everybody's pumped up today. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Miles Berger, I want to be able to read numbers on the whites. Fair enough. Yeah, I think that would probably help out, make them stand out more and pop. Gotcha. Southwest, damn, those 49ers have a lot of comp picks, 5, 10 picks overall. They're going to reload. Yeah, hey, that's part of running franchises, how to run the franchise. So give them some props and praise. Go, Andrew. Uh, that hit hobbled Hutch for months. Yeah, it probably had an impact on him, 100%. Don Burr, here we go. Ban the woo. Yes, he's leading the brigade against the woo. Matthew, hope they do have a black and blue jersey since we are the champions of the black and blue division, the NFC North. That's a good point there, Matthew. Trevor, what do you got? What time are they revealing them today? That I'm not sure. I want to say it's like 6 o'clock tonight, but don't hold me to that. I have not paid that much attention. If somebody does know, put it in the comments section. Southwest, whatever they come up with, I really do like the all blue uniforms. Fair enough. One funky Verno, no thanks. Jason, Tree of Destiny awaits. All right, coming out of retirement, or maybe it is the season for the Tree of Destiny. Oh, Dan Adamas and the Tower of Destiny. Yes, you'll be seeing them a few times. Probably one appearance right before the draft. All right, Gary. Good morning, all. For life exclamation point. I would like to see them go to the throwback jersey in honor of Chris Spielman. The man has meant so much to the franchise. I agree with you there. Yeah, he's done quite a bit for it. Dan, what do you got? Oh, man, woo! So sorry, Tom. There you go. That man, the woo for me is like Dan and his. It gets me motivated. There you go. We're gonna have to incorporate that into pregame shows this season. Robert G, what kind of draft presents are under the tree? Only Jason would know. He'll have to answer that one. Scott, anyone hear about the infos going to register people without getting into the draft? That I don't know. That I don't know. So maybe somebody can inform us on that. Andrew, we all got to show up for the draft. It's going to be more blue than hallelujah. All right, then we'll have to see. And the woo, there you go. Don's on it. All right, Ed. I hope Lions move up for a quarterback. I know you do. I know you want them to go after a quarterback. One funky. The new unis are probably going to match the helmet from last year. Similar colors of blue and same logo. If you all remember, the blue looked lighter when Spielman was playing. Yeah, it did. It was a different tone back then. All right, Eduardo, what should the Lions strategy be if one of the top players starts to drop? I'm sure they've got some scenarios. If it's a player they're really invested in that they think can immediately help the team, they've probably got some things and conversations already laid out with different teams to potentially move up. Because again, I know I've talked about it as a GM. You can't wait till you're on the clock. You just don't have enough time to sit there and do all the negotiating, and then you don't want to risk flubbing your pick. So that's why I mean I get flack from people about it, but it's part of the front office. You set up future moves. You make calls to say, "Hey, what do you want for pick 17? What's it talking?" And so when you make that call, if that player's sliding to 15, and you get about a half hour before that particular team's on the clock, you don't have to start from scratch. Hey, remember when we talked about that trade? We still think we can maybe make that trade. If what if we did this? Just you don't want to start from scratch. Is that still you? Good morning, Spielman. See, you create the perfect bridge between business and coaching players. Yeah, and it's impressive how everybody talks about him. And the biggest thing is me when I'm watching somebody speak is I gotta feel like they're genuinely talking from their heart. When you go to Jared Goff or Aaron Glenn or Grant Holmes, it appears to me at least they're all talking from the heart. They're talking from the hip. They do appreciate what he does. Robert, admit it. Don, you're a Hulk Hogan fan. There you go. Frank, good morning, everyone. The person who holds up for the signing is President Rod Wood. Good morning. Can't do nothing without owner and president. I'll go with that. Don, to all the Hulkamaniacs, 20-inch pythons. There you go. To my 20-inch pythons. Fair enough. Andrew, if we trade up to 15 and Burst Turner or Latu are sitting there, I'm going to go crazy. Yeah, you're probably going to get one of them, and I know which one I would prefer, but I could see an argument for all three of them. And I'm not going to say one is right and the others are wrong. Southwest, Dan Campbell deserves credit for some of the coaches that have bought in. I think Williams from the Titans is going to turn out to be a great pickup. Yes, I think he will too. Broski, every time I hear the name Ben Johnson, I think of the Canadian sprinter who won the 100-meter sprint in the '88 Olympics, who had his medal stripped due to testing positive for steroids. Amazing. Well, I don't think our Ben Johnson's on steroids. If it is, I don't really see where it's going to impact his play calling ability. It happens, man. All right, Robert G. What are you going to do at down when the Hulk runs all wild on you? Exclamation point. Famous. Very good. Very good. Eduardo, Sheila needs to open up the bag. I'm sure she will. Sheila needs to stay out of the way, and yeah, I'll go with that. Sheila is the best owner we've had in a while. I would 100% agree with that. All right, Southwest, give these guys more guaranteed cash and less overall cash. It could be a ploy to try to get some of them in for less. Pat, woo! How you doing today, Coach? How you doing, Pat? Hopefully great. Robert G, not on you, Don. I just meant the same. Fair enough. Broski, Don Bird, 24 inches. Yes. Don, Robert G, I get it. LOL. Was a Hulk Hogan guy, had the action figure growing up. Eat your vitamins and say your prayers. There you go. Let's see. Pat can't wait for the draft for Thursday night. Bring on the draft, 100%. Robert G. Oh yeah, Macho Man. Snap into a Slim Jim. And if you guys can Google his baseball picture, and he looks so completely different when he was a baseball player. But you know what? Transformation from hitting that weight room. Eduardo, my draft party will have some Vikings fans. That'll be interesting. Well, hopefully you enjoy it. Moonscar, like Mean Gene, just all had little Hulkamaniacs taking vitamins. Yes, Mean Gene Oakland. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he always did great interviews. He was great at his profession. All right, Frank, linebacker Dallas Turner, Robinson Chop is the best hybrid linebacker. Ray Lewis, size and speed, does like chop at edge. All right, doesn't like chop at edge. Fair enough. Michael, love to see two starters out of this draft. I think there'll be potential for it. Maybe even three if they go the route of the kicker. All right, Don Macho Man, Randy Savage off the top rope. Oh yeah. Let's go. Hey, dude, crew! Exclamation point. Y'all, my kind of people! Exclamation point. Appreciate each and every one of you. 100% with that. Dennis, LOL, brother. All right, Dennis. Oh yeah. Robert G. Where are them days at, Don? Yes. Uncle Buck, CW Hulk heel turn. Yes, classic. Yeah, and when the NWA or WCW, during the '90s, especially the late '90s, yeah, they were very good. Dennis, hell yeah, yes. WCW, yeah, I loved it back then. I watched WCW. was it in the early 80s, throughout the 80s, and then the 90s, you could just see. I mean, obviously, they started spending more money, but yeah, they were great. Unfortunately, they did not spend money wisely at some stretches, and it ultimately, it killed the product. All right, Don, what do you got? That Michael, honest question: two starters out of the draft? Question mark. Besides corner, where are they going to start? The only thing I could say, maybe Don, is kicker, cornerback, maybe defensive end or offensive line. But yeah, it's going to be real difficult to find people to come in and start. RG, right back at Blue Scar, 100%. Wide receiver and edge. There you go. All right, Eduardo, yeah, Jack. So all pro Lions are going to be a top 10 D next year. I would agree with that. I think they got some real potential. I think they're going after teams. You've heard me talk about. I think they're blitzing the heck out of everybody. All right, Don, we got Robert G. My nephew loved today's WWE. I go with him over our days or better. Yeah, I don't really watch it. Haven't watched pro wrestling a ton in probably the last 15 or so years. It started to change in a way I didn't like. So go from there. Bo, sounds like you have another microphone on, Coach. Sorry about that. Yeah, nothing I'm going to be able to do with it. My guess is it's something to do with the input. The only way for me to fix it is the end of the show. We're coming up on an hour, so probably only more here. All right, Broski. Yep, cornerback, safety, defensive end, wide receiver, all positions. A rookie could start for the Lions. Two more here, Michael. Excuse me, Don. Michael, wide receiver, probably edge will be a battle. Houston, if Davenport can stay healthy. Michael, a top 10 D and a top 3D along with the culture is more than enough to win on. All right, fair enough, guys. I know I didn't get through all of the comments. In fact, I'm seeing I didn't get through a lot of the comments. I got through what I could in an hour. So unfortunately, that's it for today. I got to get ready for work and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. If you could hit the thumbs up button, as you guys know, that helps out a lot. So if you guys can, I see there's a little over 300 people watching right now. And man, if half you guys get a thumbs up, that'd be great. If everybody could do it, that'd be really, really great. So help the channel out. I'll do all I can for you guys. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll go ahead and get it out to you. Otherwise, take care, enjoy your day, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.